Hi, it's Mr. Dillow here, and I am here to show you how to test what your pipes are made out of using one of these, a penny, and one of these guys, a magnet, which you can likely find on your refrigerator. So these are two common things that you should have at home. So let's take a look at how we would check to see what our pipes are. So here we have the sink, and I'm just going to get down here and take underneath. You can see there are some pipes. Now, this pipe, which is the easiest to access, is actually the drain pipe. And we don't really care so much about the drain pipe because that's not where our drinking water comes from. That's the water that we flush away. So the pipe that we actually care about is going to be the supply pipes, which are a little further back. And in this case, you can see there are these pipes that have the knobs. Now, let me just make sure that you can see that. Okay. Here, Okay, so as I was saying, there are these little knobs, and this is the pipe. Now, you don't want to actually check this fixture part, because that's going to be, those are typically made out of something else, like brass or whatever. You want to check the actual pipe itself, which is just sticking out a little bit back here. So the first thing I'm going to do to check this is I'm going to stick a magnet to it. If I can stick a magnet to it and it stays, that means it's made of steel. And as you can see, the magnet's floating. It's hovering there. So that means that my interior pipes are made out of steel. But if they weren't, the other thing I could do is just scratch this pipe. Let me try to get in there a little bit better. I could scratch this pipe and see what kind of color I got. If I got a copper color, it would be copper. If it came out hazy, like gray, that would be plastic. And if it came out dull gray, then it would be lead. Okay, that's the main part. You can complete the survey just doing that part. But the survey is also going to ask you about your city main. So I'm going to show you how to do that too. Okay, Dillow, I'm back. Now, if you want to check your water mains, again, this is not required, but the water main pipe is the service line pipe that leads out to the main. So like you can see the street here, there is a giant water pipe that goes underneath the street in front of your house. And the way that it connects to your house is through these water mains. So you can access these water mains actually pretty easily. What you want to do in most cases is you just go to your sidewalk, like this is the sidewalk here, and there's a little box somewhere either on the sidewalk or near the sidewalk on that little island. And this little compartment has the water main, and this is where you would shut the water off to your house. So let's just pop it open and take a look inside. So it can be helpful to check this because this is where water, like these pipes can be different from the pipes that are actually in your house. So this one is concrete. A lot of times they'll be metal, but what you can do is just kind of lift this up, move it, and you'll see there's a water main here. And here's the little arrow, like you would turn this sideways to shut off the water main to your house. And then there's also a little meter here that shows you how much water you've been using. And if you feel like there might be a leak at your house, you can shut off all the water in your house and you can watch this meter to see if it's still running. If it's still running, even though water's not going, then that's an indication that you have a water leak. All right, now let's test these pipes. Now, I don't want to test these fittings because they're typically made of like brass or something else. But I do want to test this little elbow right here. Now, let me grab my magnet. Stuck it in my pocket. So I'm going to start with the magnet test, and you can see magnet's not really sticking, so it's not magnetic. So let's try the penny test. So I'm going to scratch it. So I'm scratching and it looks very like coppery to me. So that's a sign that these water pipes are made out of copper, the service lines. So that's what I would report on my kind of thing too, because this is actually more common, where there's a nice little metal box and you can just flip it up, and it's a little bit easier to deal with. All right, so check out your pipes, complete the survey, and we will be sharing what we found with each other on Friday, and we'll create a regional map of the city of Richmond. I will tell you, you'll find on the information there that California is actually a pretty environmentally friendly state, and what they've done is they've back in the 90s they went through and replaced all the known lead pipe water mains with some kind of metal that's not lead. But that doesn't mean that there can't still be lead pipes in your house, especially if your house is older, like 80 years, especially if your house is like 80 years or older. And you can look that up on Zillow as well. And sometimes there's information out there for if you put it in your address for how old your house is. All right, that's it, guys.